Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Sunday, February 21, 2021. For today's editorial, Coronavirus Vaccines in the World of Make-Believe. For weeks now, authorities fighting the pandemic have been simulating the arrival of COVID-19 vaccines and mass inoculations. Of course, it is always better to be prepared. As Benjamin Franklin said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. But with delay after delay in the arrival, the dry runs are becoming less virtuous and more comedic. Indeed, the latest from the palace is that even President Rodrigo Duterte has grown impatient with the delays. That should have been reassuring until we remember that he heads the government that is on the receiving end of the blame. Doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine from the COVAX facility was supposed to arrive by mid-February, but delivery was snagged because of vague issues surrounding the indemnity agreement. Also, the 600,000 doses of China's Sinovac Biotech vaccine expected to arrive on February 23 may also be delayed because the manufacturer has yet to secure emergency use authorization from the local Food and Drug Administration. With frustration growing, the government now has to parry more criticisms than usual. Vice President Maria Leonor Leni Robredo, along with other government critics such as Senator Ana Theresia Risa Hontiveros, pointed out that even less developed countries such as Bangladesh have started inoculations. The observation may be factual but perhaps out of context. Such statements only add to the absurd play and are helpful only in scoring cheap political points. United Nations or UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres offered a broader perspective on the matter. He said he was alarmed by the global disparity of vaccine distribution. He pointed out that 130 countries have yet to receive vaccines and that only 10 nations have administered 75% of the doses available. Guterres also appealed to the Group of 20 or G20 to bear more of the responsibility for financing and implementing vaccination programs around the world, saying the UN will provide them its full support. If the virus is allowed to spread like wildfire in the global south, it will mutate again and again. New variants could become more transmissible, more deadly, and potentially threaten the effectiveness of current vaccines and diagnostics, he explained in a story by Agence France Presse. This can prolong the pandemic significantly, enabling the virus to come back to plague the global north. Those fears are proving to be prophetic. Just on Saturday, the Manila Times reported that 2 new COVID-19 variants were discovered in central Visayas. Health experts are still studying these variants, but mutations found elsewhere in the world seem to be more transmissible and virulent, possibly even resistant to the vaccines now being distributed. Regarding consequences of delays, besides more people falling ill or dying, the delays in vaccination will likely spawn black markets and encourage criminal activities. That may already be happening, and if this is true, the situation becomes more complicated for the Duterte government. A few months ago, when media uncovered that the president's security detail received COVID-19 shots that were smuggled into the country, there were also reports that thousands of Chinese expatriates and Chinese Filipinos had been vaccinated somehow. As we mentioned before in this space, a local black market for vaccines may have already emerged. With people desperate for protection from the pandemic, and with the country eager to restart the economy, more may become susceptible to all sorts of schemes. Getting authentic vaccines through unlawful means is one thing, but what if people are duped into paying for fake shots or being injected with placebos? Can buyers tell whether they are getting a flu shot instead of a tested COVID-19 vaccine? Sadly, this issue subsided when President Duterte himself objected to an investigation of the Presidential Security Group, or PSG. For the sake of protecting the PSG, there was no directive to look into the vaccine black market. That is yet another act in this unfolding horseplay. The public is distracted by the illusion of movement from simulations, but there is hardly any action. The government needs to get its act together somehow, despite the global issues. More than anything else, that would help bring down the curtains on this tiresome tragedy. And that's the editorial for Sunday, February 21, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to our digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And listen to The Voice of the Times.